All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to stream. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. Today I have been just like, oh man. I didn't have time to test anything. Alright, we're good. Hello, everybody, welcome in. How am I? I am alright. It's been hectic. Oh man, I did a lot of last minute things before stream started. Yikes. Hello everybody, welcome in. So today we're going to be doing, if you didn't see the stream title, I mean, you did, you're here. Ray, my favorite person! Oh my goodness. Thank you! Hope you have a good day, bestie. Hi, Crow. Hello everybody, welcome in. Again, if you didn't see the stream title, today's stream is all about how to draw clouds. As we all saw with the poll for this week as well, it was either we were going to be drawing clouds or we were going to be drawing clouds. So today we are going to be drawing clouds epically. So we'll be getting to that soon, but first I'm going to be starting with the lesson portion. But before we get to that, oh man, it's been, what, 2 weeks and I forget how to do everything? Awesome. Hang on. Because if you didn't know, our growing community is filled with tons of art nerds, and we art nerds have to stick together. So if you're an art nerd too, be sure to check out the links to our social media in the description below, and check out our website for our class offerings, where you can get critique, guidance, and encouragement from our instructors. Because we're not just a YouTube channel, we are an art school too. So if you'd like to support us so we can keep making free content, consider supporting us by becoming a YouTube member for exclusive channel perks like emotes or sub badges, or supporting us on Patreon for as little as $2 per month, where you can get access to tons of perks like my working files, critique sessions, class recordings, and a huge discount on our classes that have a limited amount of spots, so be sure to check those out before they are gone. Alright, because of the, like, super hectic setup for today, I'm so sorry there's no submissions for today, because I didn't have time to set it up, so I apologize. I apologize completely, which means I'll go through more of them next week, but anywho, fine, I'm sorry. it's been so hectic. Just to get stuff going as well, I'll probably reiterate it later. This means I'm joking. I'm just gonna put that out there right now, because last time I had a bit that ran for the whole stream. Personally, I thought it was pretty obvious, but just in case I have to do this again, I'm gonna put /J. /J means that it's a joke. So if anybody ever comes in here and asks, hey, are you joking? And I'm like, no, I'm not joking. Not at all. Like, why would I ever joke about this? I will write this on the screen. Okay? Just putting that out there before we get going. Alright. Just in case, because I thought I was pretty clear last time, but apparently I messed some people up because I told them, like, the lore of reindeer, and they're like, wait, is that the real lore of reindeer? And, like, yes, absolutely, that was the real lore of reindeer. Like, why would it be anything other than the real lore of reindeer, right? So, but people were confused about that. So every time that I write that on the screen, we know that it's a joke. Anywho. Let's get going. Let's go going with the actual lesson. Now, the thing with clouds, stream 83, the thing with clouds is that people always think that clouds are actually a lot more difficult to draw than you'd think. And, like, people are like, oh, I can't draw clouds. I'm like, I don't have a cloud brush. I don't know how to do that. I promise you it's actually not that bad. So, to understand how to draw clouds, let's look at actual clouds to start off. Nothing but clouds here. Yeah, we're gonna be drawing clouds. That's what we're doing. So let's take a look at some clouds. Let me pull up some actual pictures of clouds, all right? Oh, goodness, sorry. So, when we look at clouds themselves, right? Clouds, if you don't really analyze them, kind of just look like big blobs, all right? But let's take a closer look at what these things are, right? Notice that the shape of clouds, right? We got this fluffy bit on top, and it actually kind of straightens out at the bottom of the shape, right? Not perfectly, but it straightens out a little bit. So if you've ever seen like stylistic clouds, they tend to just be drawn with that straight line at the bottom, puffy on top, right? This one's a really good example. You notice that? The bottoms of the clouds are all nice and very leveled out while the tops are very fluffy. Another thing you might want to notice is that excuse me. Another thing you might want to notice is look at the shadows that hit clouds, right? Look at these shadows. They're actually not that blended in. They're a lot harsher than you might think, right? Depending on the cloud, of course, but notice how like harsh these shadows actually are on the clouds, right? They're not that smooth. They're not super, super soft, right? You can make out almost outlines within the shapes of these clouds, right? Following that same fluffy texture, but it's not like it's like super, super blended, right? So let's take one of these references. More likely than not, though, a good chunk of you guys will not be rendering these out realistically. Let's get real here. I've seen most of your work in the Discord. It's very rare that I'll actually see any realists, so I'll talk a bit about both kind of ways to work. So let's write down the analyses. Hang on. I don't want to make this lesson too long, by the way. Same as per usual. So flatter bottom. Fluffier up top. Harsher, hard. Edge shadows. Really super smooth. Alright, so if I was to render something like this out, what I would actually recommend is starting with the lights, because like I've talked about like rendering stuff out before, but if we were to render out something like clouds, I would actually recommend with starting with the lighter color. So again, I see they're mostly... What I'm doing, if you notice with my brush, you can see the outline of my brush. I'm working in circular motions. I'm not going to do something super realistic, but I'm working in more circular motions to get this wispier look. I also don't want it to be a perfect up and down, so I think I actually over-rendered this. Let's try that again. There we go. I don't want a perfect up and down, right? I kind of want to add some variation to the shape. Not a perfectly straight bottom, but certainly more flat than the upper, right? So once I kind of have a shape that I want, then I'm like, okay, then I'll start adding my shadows back in, right? Depending on the time of day, depending on where the light is coming from, all that kind of stuff, you can change the color of your shadows. I'm going with a more like daytime sort of cloud shadow. But again, it's not super blended in. What I'm using is a brush that is opacity by pressure. So an opacity by pressure brush is just how hard you press will change how opaque the brush is. Alright, I'll just kind of start to... So because it's sort of the daytime, my shadows, because the light is more of like a yellow tint, my shadows will lean more to blue. So I'll just slowly get darker and darker. So I create my shadows. And clouds are actually as easy as that. Clouds are not that tough. They're actually quite easy. I don't find clouds tough at all. I have a cloud brush. Like, I have a proper brush that's supposed to, like, draw in clouds for you, but I actually find I like this more stylistic thing. Because you're working digitally, there are brushes for everything, right? So you can find a cloud brush really easily. Like, cloud brushes are one of the main FX brushes that you'll probably find anywhere, right? And, like, I think this looks alright, but I think that manually doing it gives it a different kind of life. So I'm like, there's a lot of different textures you can play around with this. Right? But let's say I went even more cartoony than this. Alright, let's say that I really wanted to, like, make this more minimal. So let's break this down into 2 different values instead. The white of the cloud and 1 shadow. So once again, I'm gonna kind of plan out my shape a little bit. Notice that I'm still working in more circular motions. Then I'm gonna lock this. Find what shadow color I want. Let's actually make that lighter. It's too dark. That's still too dark. There we go. I'm gonna draw in this shadow. What I'm actually gonna do is I'm gonna go back in and kind of erase a bit of the shadow too, like this. This is a method some people use for fire as well, actually. But we do have a fire stream coming up, so I'm not going to do that one. I'm not going to show you that one. Yeah, I'm just going to kind of cut into the shadow to give it more visual variation. Do I use brush smoothing? Look at that number up there. That's 0%. Especially if I'm working with stuff that's a little bit more rendered, quicker. I never use smoothing. If I'm doing line work, then I might use smoothing. But with rendering, never. But yeah, nice and cartoony, 2 values. Easy like that. And I guess if you wanted to do line art, all you'd have to do is just add the line art first, but I wouldn't. Regardless of, like, if you're cartoony or not, I wouldn't add line art to clouds ever, just because, like, clouds are very rarely your focal point. Thinner clouds are a little bit more like, if you wanted, I see your request, late night sketches. If you want something a little bit more thinner, you still want to keep that cartoony style, again, I would turn on the layer by opacity. And I just kind of, especially if you want those sort of wispy looking clouds, less is more. So like, if you want that kind of like wispy across the air sort of look, couple strokes, you're good enough. But yeah, look at how much contrast that has. You bring up a good point, Reimagine Skies. Like, I don't think people notice how much contrast clouds actually have. Very important. Very, very important. Yeah, line art in clouds makes it look less like a cloud. Clouds are soft, and I think line art kind of takes away from that. Super true. As much as I love line art, I think it's unimportant to have line art on clouds. Nighttime clouds, the thing with clouds at night is that there will be no light bouncing on them. So say if you had like a dark night sky. Actually, let me just do this. Say if you had like a dark night sky, all you gotta do is just like slight lightness and just add those clouds back in. Like, they don't have to be... Especially if it's at night. If you have the moon somewhere, like say if you got like a moon somewhere, say you've got the moon here, what you could do, it's an epic looking moon, what you could do, so you can do a really dark kind of cloud. Because clouds at night really don't have a lot of light hitting them, right? Because there isn't a lot of light to begin with. But if there's the moon there, then they will have a little bit of like edge lighting. Because the moon is now their light source. Right? That sort of thing. Nice and dark. Such a beautifully rendered moon, I know, right? It gets the point across, though. Here, all I have to do is just, like... Boom. I have a star brush. This is, like, the most realistic star brush I've ever found, and I don't know where I can't remember where I got it from. like, it was a YouTube video, and it was a guy who extrapolated stars from a photo that he took and made a brush out of it. And I'm like, oh man, I need to find that video again so I can give him proper credits, because I'm like, this brush is phenomenal. How can you make a cloudy sky that doesn't just make the sky look like a solid gray color? What I tend to do when I do some kind of cloudy sky is just to add some color variation. Like, never make it just like a single... First of all, never use pure gray. Use something more akin to like a blue or orange. You're better off using a colder blue. And then just add color variation in there. Right? Let's look at a cloudy day. Again, let's look at some references. I was trying to see if it had something here. Of course it doesn't. Oopsie-doopsie. Gray sky. Right? Look at these gray skies, these cloudy, dreary days, right? Notice that even though it's like gray, it's all gray, there's still a little bit of color variation in there. Some areas where the clouds are thinner, some areas where the clouds are thicker, right? So all you gotta do is just add that variation back in. So maybe there's some areas in here that are a little bit lighter. Oops. And make sure you stick with your perspective as well. Clouds are easy because you can make them follow perspective without being too precious about it. Like, just as long as it generally follows the shape of your perspective, then, like, you're all good. Or the general direction, that's right. The general direction of your perspective, you're all good. Yeah, some cloudy days are darker than others. Some are lighter. The cloudiest day I've ever had was when there was an intense thunderstorm way back when. I think this was 2012. And, like, it got so dark outside to the point, like, the clouds were so dark to the point where the sky looked green. That was terrifying, actually. I have a very mild fear of natural disaster. So, like, like, seeing the clouds get that dark to the point where it looked like nighttime outside at, like, maybe 1 p.m., that was pretty awful for little 6th grade me. So satisfying to see me draw stuff. Thank you. I try. I think this is turning out very subpar, but, like, you kind of get the idea, right? like, just don't make the clouds look too... Here, this is... Gray skies are one of those things where you actually don't want the contrast to be too high. But there should be just enough contrast to the point where you can tell that it's not... like, there's no sun out. Happened at school last month at lunch, the lights turned on. Oh, awful. I was on the brink of tears when I'd hear thunder as a kid. Oh yeah, no, I felt pretty uncomfortable about it. Am I gonna teach fog? Probably not. Alright, I think that's good though. In 20 minutes of clouds, I think we're good. But yeah, clouds are... And here's the thing, some people will ask me, like, how do I do, like, sunset clouds? It's zero difference from these ones. Right? It's zero difference from this one, or this one, or this one. You just gotta change the colors. Change the colors, add some rim light. You're all good. Right? Let's actually just change this one. Right? Let's say that this one was, like, add golden hour, right? Yellow. Deep purple. And then, like a rim light almost. Actually, I should make this cloud more, like, orangey, like that. Yeah. And then, like, a yellow. Which obviously would look better if there was actual sunsets to help you out there. But it's just changing the colors. And of course your references are there as well. Alright. That should be good enough for this. But we're gonna draw some clouds now. We're gonna get into drawing some clouds. Just as the poll said, let's get into the illustration portion. Now, what I want to do for you guys It's because we offer JPEGs on this server. On the Discord server, !Discord, we offer them as JPEGs. I want this one to be offerable. I want you guys to be able to use this one as a desktop background. So, we're going to be drawing some... This is in a standard 16:9 format. If you wanted to try and use this as your desktop background afterwards, you may. I'm really interested in what a cloud is. It's just clouds. Yeah, we're just gonna be drawing some clouds together. I wanna nice and... Time to draw some clouds. Yeah, it's cloud time, guys. It's gonna be nice. It's gonna be epic. Any of you guys actually been cloud watching before? Never seen a cloud before in my life. Can't wait to learn about cloud lore. Oh, yes. Don't worry. Like, ask me any questions about... I know so much about clouds, guys. Like, fun fact, if you're old enough, when I was younger, what I would do is I would go on my my aunt's old like computer, and I would go onto oh shoot, what was it called? Google Plus. I would go onto Google Plus and I would go on like the forums there, and because I was a cool kid who went on Google Plus, and I would look up like the 5 interesting facts about like clouds that you don't know, or like 5 interesting clouds that you've never seen before, or something like that. I'm being totally serious about that. Like that was something I did as a kid, and I knew so many different cloud names because of it. My eyes hurt trying to cloud watch, yeah. Yeah, I want nice fluffy clouds right now. I just kind of want that nice fluffy look. My favorite type of cloud? You know, I'm gonna have to go with roll clouds. Roll clouds. I'm gonna have to go with roll clouds. If you don't know what a roll cloud is, please Google it. It is the best cloud. It is the least cloud-like cloud I've ever seen, and I really love them. Have I ever tried pixel art? I have. It's not my cup of tea, but I respect pixel artists immensely. Like, the process for me is very boring, because it's super, super tedious in ways that I don't want it to be. But I respect pixel artists immensely for their patience. Yeah, I want to make this more saturated. It's a little too dark, a little too gray. My favorite cloud is the one with the big sword. Oh, so true. Strife clouds, yeah, that's what they're called. Are clouds cotton candy? Only if you try hard enough, right? Like, clouds are only cotton candy if you can get past the screaming. But, like, other than that, like, they're pretty sweet, yeah. Have you ever checked on Moby Frank's work? Concept artist works on some games. I really love his work. Moby Frank. That's a name I don't recognize. Frank? Oh! Yes, never mind. I do know this artist. I didn't know his name. So you're a Team Fortress player, I see. The screaming is the fun part for you? See, that's rare. I've never seen somebody who said that they liked that portion. I want a cloud pet. They're hard to catch, though. Roll clouds look super cool, right? They're the least cloud kind of cloud ever. Screaming? Yeah! You never tried to eat a cloud before? It's not like they're just in stores. You gotta hunt them yourself. You haven't lived if you haven't gone cloud hunting. Getting past the screaming, what other noises do clouds make? It's mostly screaming. Sometimes there's a low hum. Like, if you get too close and they start to, like, hum in your ears. You can't listen to that one too long, though, or else your ears will do something a little more TOS than just pop, but, you know. There's lots of noises that clouds make. Roll clouds do look like giant flying sky worms. They so do. It's so true. I mean, sky worms are way bigger, but, like, roll clouds get pretty close. It's not cloud hunting without casualties, though. Be prepared for that. Super true. Yeah. You gotta really... You gotta make sure that you have your sacrifices in order. Sometimes, you know, you're gonna need them. If you're smart about it, there aren't too many casualties. UFO clouds look so cool. Like lenticular clouds? Those are pretty sick. I think they're lenticulars, if I remember correctly. Perchance. What tools do you use to hunt the clouds? A net, your hands, a bag? Really anything that you can gather. Like, really, you don't want to take them down alive, so, like, whatever, like, you know... Whatever thing you're able to carry them back down in to where, like, it won't cause you too much, like, trouble. Like, that's enough, usually. How hard is it to tame a cloud? Pretty hard. Pretty difficult. I heard this analogy before. Like, trying to tame a cloud is like trying to teach a lion not to roar, you know? It's Strider walk cycle, but I kind of dislike it. Not Strider, my animation. Oh, you're all good. I appreciate the fan art regardless. Show me in class, or I'll be teaching tomorrow. Can't wait to tell your friend how to tame a cloud. Are you gonna bring them with you? Are you gonna try and tame a cloud yourself? Are they gonna be your casualty? I mean, I'd hope not. You said that they're your friend. You tried to make a cloud once and it flew away? Oh, you know, actually, you're lucky that that's all it did, though. I'm sorry that you didn't get your pet cloud, but, like... I'm glad you're still alive. You know? Screw learning art, I want to learn cloud hunting. It's a nice one then. Yeah, it was a nice one. Clearly. It lets you live. Goodness. Personally, I've never tried to tame a cloud. Like, I'm gonna be real. I value my life a little bit too much, but, like... It's like, I value my life. I'm not gonna risk it, but... I have heard stories. It was a baby cloud? Ah, that makes sense. Yeah. Smaller. Like this blue shading? Thank you. Yeah, it really does help with the depth, methinks. And, like, I personally like it when clouds are done in a way that's, like, a little more wispy. Like, the shading is still hard, but, like, you can still see the brush strokes within it. I'm personally a really big fan of that. Wispy shading is one of my favorite stuff. Music is perfect. I'm vibing. Super true, yeah. Stevia Sphere, guys. Good music. I wish there was a place where you could buy clouds in a legal way. I heard that they sell some in Hawaii. Well, I don't know. I'd like it because you gotta just... I don't think that there's a legal way because, like, it's a wild animal, really. It's no different than, like, if you were to try and have, like, a pet lion or something, you know? Like, technically you can get them, but it's not ethical. You need like a permit to have a pet cloud, really. Netherlands has some really dynamic clouds. Really? I do like how air quality and stuff changes the way that our sky looks. Like in different parts of the world, sky will act differently, and I think that's really interesting. The baby clouds are extra fluffy. Yeah, it's usually why people hunt them for their sustenance rather than to keep as a pet. What I'm doing right now is just kind of adding some dimension to this blue, so I'm adding these kind of like half visible clouds right now. Adding atmospheric perspective to the atmosphere. You have a shop where you sell domestic clouds? Do you really? How did you get a permit for that? It's illegal here. Are you in Canada? Actually, don't tell me that, but like, it's illegal here in Canada to have those kinds of shops. What do clouds feel like? They're actually wetter than you might expect, I guess just because it's like condensation. So it's like, it's actually less like fluffy. Like, it's fluffy, yeah, but it's very similar to like feeling like ice, I guess. Like snow. Or snow. That's a good one. That's a good analogy. Like, it's a bit colder. Jupiter's clouds are astounding. You know, I haven't seen those. Or maybe I haven't, I just completely forgot. Is there a black market for cloud trading? I don't think we should be talking about the black market of cloud trading on stream, guys. Gonna be honest. It's gonna be kind of awful to have, like, black market activity tracing back to Wing campus. Like... Cloud hunting should be kept on, like, the down low. If we're buying, like, it's one thing to hunt them yourself, it's another to buy them, you know. Honestly, it's better to leave the clouds alone. Exactly. Exactly. Like, they are delicious, I understand, but it's similar to, like, you know, they're delicious and they're cute and that sort of thing, but it's similar to, like, hunting an endangered species, you know? And they're also very hostile, so, like, what's the... Are clouds alive? Yeah. Hey, you never seen a live cloud before? Come on, if you've even watched clouds for, like, 30 seconds, you had to have at least seen them, like, move a little bit. Like, there's no way you've gone this long in your life without seeing a cloud, like, blink at you. What do clouds taste like? Pretty sweet, usually. The ones that I've had. It's like eating a snow cone. What kind of Pokeball would work best on clouds? Don't be silly. A Pokeball couldn't contain one of these guys. You don't know why, but these look like eyes to you? Oh, have you never seen the eyes of a cloud? This is just what they look like. What gave birds the right to fly, but not us? I don't know, I'll ask mine later. Like, hey Medley, why do you fly and I can't, huh? Clouds are such mythical creatures. They're very beautiful, right? They're very truly the wonders of the sky. Just wish I could capture them properly. Can clouds die? No. They kind of just disappear and reappear, you know? The only time that clouds can die is if we kill them, right? Cloud fabric is super expensive. Because it's just so tough to get cloud fabric. After like millions of kilometers tall. I wouldn't say millions. Certainly a few kilometers wide, though, usually. What sounds do clouds make? A lot of screaming. Lots of screaming. Hang on, I'm not getting this right. Give me a second. I gotta look up a reference. Sorry, I gotta look up references of clouds, y'all. Give me a second. Alright. Do clouds have any natural predators? No. See, clouds... There's a fixed number of clouds. That's the thing with them, is that they're never really gonna go endangered. This is a fixed number of them, because no matter how many you kill, another one will take its place, right? But we don't hunt them because they're dangerous, and they're majestic and beautiful. Is this another one of my clouds, like my reindeer? Yeah, it's just the true lore of, like, what clouds are. I don't know why you're accused. It sounds accusatory. Here for the lore? Yeah. Clouds like worms, you cut it in half and it makes another. No. It's a fixed, again, they're a fixed number. And, like, that number will never change. Like, there's only a specific number of clouds. And that number will never get bigger or smaller. So if you cut a cloud in half, you've just cut a cloud in half. What if they converge into one mega cloud? They won't. They're too territorial for that. They have packs, but it's not like they'll conjoin with other packs, you know? Most planets have clouds. I believe it. Give me a moment as I continue to look at references on my phone. Are clouds more intelligent than humans? To a degree, I'd say. They can perceive things that we can't, so, like... It's pretty easy It's pretty, like, you know. You're not wrong for assuming that clouds are smarter than we are. At the very least, they're wiser. Google's so lame. Doesn't have any, like, good references of clouds. Pinterest is lame, too. It's like, I can't find anything. Like, I go and look them up, and I'm like... Like, I go look up cloud eyes, and they're like, are you sure you want to know? Like, I've seen them before. Like, sometimes I just don't want an ominous pop-up, alright? Wisdom +5, int -1, charisma +3. Switch that wisdom and that charisma, that's me. I've been told that I have a higher charisma stat than wisdom. What is rain? Is it clouds giving us a gift as the water, or is it just a natural process of them? It's a gift. Why do they sometimes flood places? It's not a gift. It's a natural bodily process. How long have the clouds existed? Nobody knows. There we go. Goodness, finally. We don't really know what the rain is, really. It's not like it's excrement. We straight up just don't know. Some people think it's them crying. But what do they have to cry about, you know? Longer than the dinos. Maybe. We don't actually know. Why is there an eye in the cloud? Because this is what clouds look like. Listen, this is a stream about how to draw clouds. I'm showing you how to draw clouds. Don't worry, guys. Yeah, clouds are staring at us the whole day, technically. If there's anything that I think I'm pretty good at rendering, it's clouds, guys. I know what I'm doing, don't worry. Are clouds gods? No. No. The gods fear them, though. Clouds are something incomprehensible to us. If clouds had eyes, I'd be freaking out. Oh, it sucks. I guess you're freaking out every day, then. I guess just don't look up, then. The gods fear them? Do the clouds predate the gods? Oh, many believe so, yeah. Are hurricanes evil clouds? No, they're the punishment. Are clouds related to sheep? No. That's just like children's nursery rhymes. Clouds and lightning get along well or no? Well, the lightning isn't sentient. Lightning is just a process that happens. That's just electricity coming towards the ground, right? Like that's not anything remotely as powerful as a cloud is. Do you think clouds have magical powers? I don't think so. They just watch. I think I captured the clouds pretty well. I think that's pretty good. Yeah. The first eye looks way darker. They're the exact same tone. Do they have mouths? No. Or if they do, I've never seen them. I'm gonna be real, if I ended up seeing a cloud's mouth, I don't think I'd be here with you guys. What's the typical lifespan of a cloud? We've never seen a cloud die, so. See the illustration books Tales from the Loop or The Electric State? Simon Stollenhag is one of my favorite illustrators. Yes, I do know that one. Simon Stollenhag is, he inspired a lot of my work, like in terms of like the rendering style that I love. How do they scream? Good question. What do clouds do in their free time? Watch us. The clouds are just an audience. We are their farce. We're just entertainment for eyes that are beyond our understanding and our perception. Alright, we've got so much time left, I'm gonna do a second one. Because I'm done with this one. So, I'm gonna do a second one. Just tab back in. Oh, Ray, my favorite person! We're talking about clouds! We're talking about the lore of clouds. Do you remember that time when I went cloud hunting? I've been explaining to them how clouds aren't gods, but they're, like, a fear of them. That kind of thing. Let's draw more clouds. I'm gonna just keep them all as, like, background. Or I'm gonna keep them all as, like, yeah. Yeah, that makes sense, yeah. You caught a baby cloud once? Lucky. Is it still alive? I mean, I wouldn't think so. If it was still alive, you'd be dead. Mama cloud came for you? Yikes. Do the clouds sing, and if so, what does it sound like? Is it thunder or whistling? I'm uncertain. I don't think I've ever seen... Hang on. I don't think I've ever seen or heard a cloud sing. I mostly just hear them scream every once in a while, but like... You know, we all got protective gear for that. You had to let baby cloud go. Honestly, it's for the better. I would have been scared if you still had the baby cloud on you. Like, unless you tamed it, I guess, or you moved to, like, a different country, but, like, even then, like, the clouds will find you. It's not like they ever go away. One of your cats died to a cloud once? Oh no. I'm sorry. That's why you shouldn't bring your pets cloud hunting. Thunder is basically just clouds crashing into each other. You'd think so, right? What type of food is a cloud? Again, beyond our comprehension. Some people say that eating clouds have cured a couple of things of theirs, though. Maybe it's this maybe it's just mystic properties we don't quite understand yet. Mystic. Now I've heard that the limbs of clouds kind of burn. I've never had the displeasure of actually seeing one in real life, but like... You know, when I went cloud hunting, you know, I did the smart thing and like snuck up on them when they weren't actually paying attention. So I didn't have to face the wrath of tendrils, you know, but like I've heard that they burn a lot. So good at capturing the look of clouds. Thank you! I try. You know, it'd be bad if I couldn't capture them properly. They'd come after me, probably. What's their defense mechanism? They don't need one. If you try and take one of them, like, you're already dead in the water, I guess. That's why it's not recommended that you keep a tamed cloud. Oh, my uncle tried to hunt one, but he never came back. I'm so sorry. If clouds manage to form limbs, it's best to cut losses and hope they didn't get a good look at you. It's why I wear a mask everywhere. It's super true, yeah. It's good to wear a mask for, like, health purposes, but absolutely, if you've been spotted by a cloud, it's an even better reason to wear a mask everywhere. Do clouds have a photographic memory? Imagine if they did and you got on the bad side of a cloud and just accept death at that point. Yeah. See, photographic, I guess, is underestimating it. People say that, because we're able to, like, measure our memory in, like, megabytes and gigabytes and stuff like that. They say that a cloud's memory is, like, unmeasurable. So, like, based off of, like, research and stuff. So, yeah. If a cloud got a good look at you, I'm sorry. Some clouds are the embodiment of anger. I mean, some people are the embodiment of anger, really. Like, hey, you're listening to one talk. I had to move a lot because my cats are silly things. Keep trying to eat baby clouds. Yeah. You gotta keep them away from windows during cloudy days. Can't have your pets chasing clouds. So they won't really be your pets anymore, you know? Saw a cloud with an eye, but I think that was a really weird flying sheep. I don't think so. I think you were spotted by a cloud. Have you noticed it was colder in your area? Raining a bit more? Sometimes it's freezing rain on days that you don't want it to be freezing rain. Sometimes it's windy in gets windier when you walk in certain spots. Cloud might be watching you. Has been cold. I'm sorry, man. I might skip the country if you could. If you have that ability, and if you don't, then I'm sorry. Where do they go when it's sunny? To another part of the world. Because it's not sunny everywhere all the time, right? I live in the UK, it's always raining. Yeah, no, I mean, like, clouds are, you know, more populous in some places compared to others. The UK is a popular place for clouds. Can clouds travel to other planets? No. They kind of hover around us, mostly. We're talking about cloud hunting, but if you spot a hunting cloud, you're done. Yeah. If a cloud is coming after somebody, sorry guys, you might as well just, there's no hope. With the cloud lore we've discovered in the stream, do you think Jack and the Beanstalk story is real? You know, with him, because there was a giant above the clouds, but like if you think about it, to me, here's my theory, right? With that story, I think that story was just twisted. I don't think it was a giant up there. I think it was a cloud. Basically the same thing. Do clouds cause tornadoes? No. That's just a process that, like, happens naturally. I totally blanked on the stream today until I saw the Discord reminder. No, it's okay. Everybody who's been here since the beginning knows this. I was super hectic to start stream. Are wind turbines and windmills actually just old-timey defense mechanisms before we made intercontinental missiles? You know, that's a really good question. I don't know. I mean, the thing is that clouds are only hostile if we're hostile first, right? So, like, there's no need to defend unless we decide to do something awful, which, you know, we're humans, we have. But, like, really, it's futile regardless. Do clouds eat people, or do they attack out of aggression or a different reason unknown to me currently? They just attack out of aggression. Like, it's provoked aggression, right? It's kind of like neutral mobs in Minecraft. Like spiders during the day. If you don't attack the spider, it won't attack you. So many things I would have done, but clouds got in my way. Understandable. What should I bring to go cloud hunting? Well, first and foremost, you need a mask. Like, a full face mask is recommended, but a half face should, or like, can work. But like, full face is really recommended, because then it's like, you know, they really can't get a good look at your face. Number 2 is some kind of leaf blower. Usually that helps to just kind of move them. You'll never get rid of them, but if you can kind of shuffle them out of the way, that helps. And then some kind of sharp object. A lot of people like sickles, just because they can cut really easily. And that'll help you get a chunk off of a cloud. Obviously, you need some kind of flying device. A helicopter is recommended. Like, something that actually has an enclosed space. Like, I've only heard one story of somebody coming back alive from, like, a paraglider, because, like, you know, you're fully exposed in that regard. But if you're gonna go, then, like, you might as well make sure that you have some kind of, like, cabin to, like, stay protected in. Oh, and bring a buddy. Buddy is in somebody you might not like that much. Just in case there's a casualty. Bring somebody, and then don't tell them the list that I just talked about. Because chances are, a cloud is not going to be fast. Or you're not going to be faster than a cloud. So you might as well slow them down a little, you know? So anyone tried to farm clouds? No, it's impossible. There's a fixed number of clouds. Like, you can't create more, and you can't get rid of them. When one cloud is lost, then another one takes its place instantly somewhere else. A cloud is never really lost. It just kind of... It's almost like a despawns, but it doesn't really. It just kind of, you know, heads out somewhere. You know, even if they are aggressive and dangerous, I still admire clouds. Such beautiful creatures and so complex, too. It's just lovely. Yeah, no, it's very similar to, like most exotic animals, you know? It's like they're They're dangerous, but they're beautiful. It's like reindeer, right? Like reindeer are so like dangerous and like terrifying, but like, you know, they're really majestic, beautiful creatures. Always go in the water if you're in danger of a cloud. See, but you can only stay under the water for so long, right? Like, I've heard that before. It's like, oh, if you're in danger of a cloud, go in under the water. And, like, that's a temporary solution, I guess. But clouds are very intelligent. They'll just wait. Because once you resurface, they'll get you. So really, if you're being chased, it's why they say, like, you should bring somebody who you're willing to have as a casualty. If you're, like, being chased by a cloud, like, you're done for, unless if you offer something else, you know? I'd rather drown. Fair enough. How do you escape a cloud? Yeah, you need it. You don't, really. There's no escape. That's why you need a casualty. You have to wear a mask so that they don't recognize you. But you can't tell your casualty to wear a mask so that they'll see the casualty and that's who they'll take instead. You know? As long as a sacrifice is given, they'll be content enough. How many casualties have there been? Dunno. Because, you know, cloud hunting is like super restricted in most areas, so we don't actually know how many casualties there have been. Who did I bring cloud hunting? That's something I can't disclose. Can clouds reproduce? No. Clouds are infinite. Clouds don't need to reproduce. They are an ever-present, ever-alive being. Did I go to the funeral? Can't go to a funeral if they don't exist anymore. Here's the thing with casualties, guys, right? Is like a casualty isn't necessarily a death. Like, it's a death for sure, but really it's a wipe of existence. That's a better way to say it, right? When a cloud gets you, you just cease to exist. Your legacy is gone. And your life was but a mere plotline. Nobody will remember that you were there. That's why you gotta pick your casualty wisely, you know? That's why you gotta be really sure if you want to go cloud hunting. Like, if you go cloud hunting, and, like, you get caught, you're not only dead, it's like as if you never existed. They won't even remember you were there. Right? So you gotta be really sure. Why do they turn into shapes? Dunno. They just kind of move and are ever-changing. Like being erased from existence. Exactly. Exactly. Is there a cloud ducky? I guess I could change it too. Need to change into one. Cloud's territorial? Yes. They have, like, groups that they kind of stay in, but, like, they never really interchange. It's almost like they have clans. Is after we get caught, does the cloud just question why they were there in the first place? Because we don't or never existed? No. No. Clouds eat our existence, and they know. It's like they eat the stories of our lives almost, you know? We think that the person never existed anymore. But the clouds will remember. What's a group of clouds called? Just clouds. I could be looking at the same cloud that Isaac Newton looked at. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Because they're ever present, right? It's like you could be looking at the same cloud. You probably have looked at the same cloud that somebody else looked at. Or somebody famous looked at, you know? Way past into history. Or like way in the past. That was English, yeah. I want to join a clan of clouds. Well, some cultures think that, like, when you die, you become a cloud. So, maybe you will. Who knows? Or you become part of a cloud, I guess. Yeah, because if you became a cloud, then that would change the number of them, and they don't change number, obviously, so... Like, some people believe that you just become part of a cloud. Yep, the clouds saw everything that ever existed. So long as the atmosphere existed, clouds did too. What how it feels to be a cloud? Probably very overwhelming, I'd think. If you knew, like, everything, I feel like that'd be pretty terrifying, in a way. If I were a cloud, I'd love to just pick someone up and throw them for no reason. Well, clouds are not, like, you know... beings that, like, are just aggressive for no reason, right? So if you became a cloud, you probably wouldn't care enough. You would have other things to worry about. Do clouds have souls? Good question. Do we have souls? Can never be quite too certain. They're all just in a constant state of being a panic attack. Do clouds have brains? No. At least not our understanding of what a brain is. They probably have some kind of equivalent, but they definitely don't have, like, a physical brain. Do they sleep? No. No. Ever present. Clouds don't disappear when you go to sleep, right? Some people say that it's best to hunt at night because the clouds can't see you as well, but, like, that's a myth. Like, it's a myth and it's wrong, so, like, you know, try not to go for misinformation, y'all. I love clouds. Same, yeah, I think they're really cool. They're terrifying, but, like, in a cool way, you know? Clouds are really cool. Thank you. I'm trying to capture their essence. I think I've done an alright job. It's very hard to capture the magnificence that is a cloud. Very glad I joined the stream today. I'm glad too! Oh man, my voice kind of hurts. I need to drink some water. Didn't think I'd be more afraid of clouds after this stream. You should always be afraid of clouds. Like a healthy amount of afraid, I think. What does this mean the clouds are doing? I can't help you, Eve. It's okay, that's just the sun shining through them. They're not doing anything to you. Where did they come from? Dunno. Clouds have just kind of always been here. Do clouds have emotions? Not really. They're kind of in a constant state of neutral. I think if I wore a bird costume and flew next to the clouds, it'll survive because they think I'm a bird? No. No, they're smarter than that. And again, they're not hostile. They're only hostile if you attack them first. So you can fly amongst the clouds just fine as long as you don't do anything to them. Am I one of them? No. Because I can talk to you and your ears are still working. What is the anatomy of a cloud? I mean, if you've been on an airplane and you've kind of flown through the clouds, then you know the anatomy of a cloud. It's just fluff through and through. Is a storm what happens when a cloud gets angry? No. Again, clouds are territorial things. It's more like when they're kind of just trying to defend their space. Yeah, all the clouds' quote-unquote organs are invisible to this. If they even have organs. Again, like, we don't really know. Like, it's similar to what somebody asked before. It's like, do clouds have brains? Like, they probably have brains, but not in a way that we understand them. It's like, they might have organs, just in a way that we don't understand it. Do clouds contain sugar? I'd assume so, because they're pretty sweet. Or again, maybe it's just some other property we don't understand. Do we have to draw eyes? If you're drawing clouds accurately, yeah. Again, if you're more cartoony, you don't want to add eyes, I guess so. But if you're going for a more realistic rendering of clouds, you probably should add eyes. If you're trying to capture their likeness. But they won't come after you if you decide not to. Do clouds understand us? You know, I don't know. See, it feels like they know everything and yet nothing at all, sometimes. What if a cloud ate a god? What would happen then? The god would cease to exist. We wouldn't know they were a god at all. Like, you know, I said that the clouds are, like, you know, above the gods. How do we know that there weren't more gods than what we kind of understand now? There are probably whole other religions, cultures, things that we don't even know about anymore because they got flew a little too close to the clouds. Did a little Icarus there. Except Icarus flew too close to the sun. Even though, fun fact, you know, the Icarus story is improbable because, like, the higher you get, the higher in altitude you get, it actually gets colder. So... his wings wouldn't have melted. He would have been probably fine. But, regardless. Makes you wonder how many famous people have been killed by clouds that we don't remember. So many people just gone from memory, right? Exactly, just because somebody wanted a little bit of cloud to munch on. Either a little bit of cloud to munch on or a pet cloud of their own, which, if they wanted a pet cloud of their own, they're probably gone by now. But, you know. Like, you can get a baby cloud, but once it grows up, cloud is probably not gonna like you much. It'll want to return back to where it came from. Do clouds feel fear? No, it's nothing to fear. Where do you get the textured painting and textured brush from? So I got these brushes, like, I made these ones. I know that the texture is from a Kyle brush, but I, like, adjusted them, like this shape. You can see it as I hover over the cloud. This shape I know is from a Kyle brush, but I adjusted their settings to, like, make them, like, what I want. So I can't really distribute them because they're not mine. So, I apologize. Some of these are mine that I made myself. Like these rectangular brushes I made myself. There's a couple of versions that I have. A couple of freckle brushes, general halftones. Well, this one that I use for knit patterning. I want to make it really easy. Like there's some that I made myself, but there's a lot in here that I just got from other people, so I can't distribute my brushes. I apologize. Think you could ever do a tutorial on those textured brushes if you could? They're really easy to make. Because I only really know how to make brushes in Photoshop, which is just you open a blank white file, you draw something in black, and then you just do a bunch of like brush settings, which are different per program. So like if I did a tutorial on Photoshop, it would be different if you did it on CSP, it'd be different if you did it on Medibang, so on and so forth, right? So it's kind of hard to do a brush tutorial. So it's a little rough to do it. I'm just gonna draw a non-rendered cloud down here. Or a non-painted cloud, I suppose. It's just one cloud. It's kind of two conjoined. Clouds only have two eyes, so. Fog is just clouds on the ground, which is when a cloud in activity... When a cloud is actively chasing somebody. See, that's also a misconception. Fog is really just a natural phenomenon. There's a difference between clouds and fog. Fog is just something that happens. Is there anything more powerful than a cloud? If there is, I'm gonna be honest, I don't want to meet it. Confused? We're just talking about clouds. This actually looks like some scary creature concept art for a game. Thank you. I mean, it's just clouds, but I appreciate it. I did go to school temporarily for game art, so it is my mild training. Smoke evil clouds? No. Smoke just happens when we burn things. Are all clouds sentient, or are there some other non-sentient clouds? No, all clouds are sentient. If you've seen a cloud, it's probably looking at you. Yeah, smoke is just smoke. Yeah, clouds are neutral. Clouds have different breeds? No, a cloud is a cloud. What is rain? People say that rain is just a natural, like, bodily function of the clouds, though nobody really understands what that bodily function is. How long have I been a cloud whisperer? I've never been a cloud whisperer. I really like the history of clouds. But I'm not a cloud whisperer in the slightest. Smog isn't a cloud, so exactly. No, yeah. So smog is different than a proper cloud. When were clouds discovered? That's a good question. I mean, clouds have just kind of been around since we've all existed, so they haven't really been discovered. They've just kind of always been there. Do I know any cloud whisperers? I do not. No. I don't know if there is such thing as a cloud whisperer, because it's not like they speak. If you've heard a cloud speak, you're long gone by now. I guess it's less of being discovered and more realizing, oh yeah, that does do that, like gravity. Exactly. Yeah. It's not like they've been discovered. It's kind of like a thing where it's like, oh, they've always been there. Guess I can live with that. And we have no choice but to live with them. And I mean, they're pretty chill, so it's not like again, it's not like they're doing anything to us. It's more like we're doing stuff to them, so they have to fight back in some way, you know? It's like We were the ones who were being hostile. They didn't do anything. We're just encroaching on their space. Clouds are just defending themselves. Exactly. Like, you've definitely heard the story of, like, the first person to have ever tried to, like attack a cloud, right? Like, you've heard that. He was lucky to get out alive because he had a casualty with him before we knew what casualties were. So he told the tale of his casualty. Of course, nobody remembered who that person was, because they'd been, like, erased from the books, but if he was able to get out alive and tell us... It's like he got out alive because somebody else was there. But he just can't remember quite who. Which is interesting, because, like, I think it's interesting that, like, you know, when you bring a casualty, when you come back down to, like, Earth, nobody else remembers who this casualty is, but you do. Which I think is interesting. Yeah, I'm just telling you the story right now, Orange. Like, it's like, nobody else remembers who this casualty was, but you do. And you're stuck with the memory of that person. You don't really remember who they were, but you remember you had somebody. So you're kind of just left with this lingering feeling. It's almost like the clouds are forcing you to remember in a weird way, you know? They're like, hey, you got away this time. Don't try it again. Sure, the first guy to ever fight a cloud was the first guy. He's just the only one that survived. Maybe. Maybe. That's an interesting way to think of it, too. It's like, and maybe the first guy wasn't even the first guy. Maybe he was just the first one to survive, you know? Main lesson is don't mess with the clouds. Exactly, exactly. Mess around, you find out. So if you don't mess around, you'll never find out. Sometimes, it's like what I said in the beginning, right? Like, I kind of value my life, so I'm not gonna go after a cloud. I've gone, like, cloud hunting just for, like, the taste of them, but I'm not gonna go to try and actively catch a cloud, you know? And I understand what the casualties are, so I can't be tricked into becoming a casualty, right? So now I'm just helping you guys, so if somebody ever asks you, hey, you ever heard of this thing called cloud hunting? You can say, yeah, I have. Or if somebody goes, hey, there's this funny little urban legend that I heard about. You want to do it? Like, I don't think it's real, but it might be fun to do anyway. Then you understand. More of a cloud tracker, no hunting. Yeah, no, that's totally fine. If you're a cloud tracker, that's a totally safe activity. Because it's not like you're actually actively, like, hunting them. It's why you're able to research clouds. Like, as long as you don't actually disturb them, they're completely fine with you. Yeah, I wanted a size comparison for how big the adult clouds to the baby clouds are. Just be nice and wave as they pass. Exactly. They won't really understand a wave, but they'll understand that you're being kind. Did I miss any lore? I just came back to know because I still gotta leave. Now you're all good. I think we've just kind of been talking about general safety tips when it comes to clouds, stuff like that. I think baby clouds are just the aftermath or after clouds, right? It has to regrow. That's interesting. Yeah, if clouds don't reproduce, then where do baby clouds come from? See, when people will, like, attempt to kill a cloud because, like, you know, they'll, like, try and get rid of a cloud, or they'll, like, you know, blow it away or something like that, or, like, they'll try and dissipate it. Because clouds are, like, from our understanding, clouds are vapor. Like, it's still just kind of like water. So you can technically, like, get rid of a cloud, but another, if one quote-unquote dies, then it'll resprout somewhere else, right? There's always an equal number of clouds. So if you get rid of one, quote-unquote, then another one will come back, right? So that's when, quote-unquote, baby clouds pop up, right? It's like they're baby clouds, quote-unquote, but it's just that cloud, like, respawning in a way, right? But even if you are able to, like, kill a cloud, kill, quote-unquote, a cloud, it's not like you're safe. They have pack tactics. How many clouds are there? Unsure. I've heard tales of clouds just giving blessings. Are they just fairy tales? I'm not sure. I've honestly, like, I think they're just fairy tales because I've never heard of a blessing actually working. Like, if like a blessing, quote unquote, works, then it's very much like happenstance. But, like, I mean, who am I to judge, right? If you believe in the blessings that a cloud can give, fine by me. Just turn on my smoothing a little bit just to save my handwriting. I spelled adolescent right? That's correct, I think. How many eyes can clouds have? Just 2. Got about 19 minutes left, y'all, so we're almost done here. That looks scary. It should be. It's usually better to fear the clouds so that you don't go try and hunting them. Close the cloud's eyes. They just kind of, you know, if you can kind of see them, right? They're just kind of indents in the shape. It's not like they're in a fixed position. They can kind of just move everywhere. So, like, again, you're never really safe from a cloud, but some people like to think they are. Oops. Ah. Alright, fine. The annoying long way. Load, please. Thank you. Hello, hello. Lovely clouds, thank you. I tried to capture their likeness to the best of my ability. So little tip, just breaking character for a second. If you're doing any kind of concept art sheet as well, when you're doing a background, you should never have any color. If you have some kind of neutral gray, that works, because if you have any color when it comes to like conceptual work like background, it'll alter the colors of the creature design or the creature design or the character design there. It's some fun little rule called Chevreul's rule of color interaction. So like, say if I had like a blue background, it would look different if I had like a red background or something like that. So a neutral gray, A, evens out the values, B, makes it so all your colors pop a little bit more. What do they do with their hands? It's a way for them to grab you. If you've never seen a cloud's hands, it's better that way. Honestly. They grab the sacrifices. Yeah, they grab the casualties. So the stream is ending soon. Just gotta say you're a huge inspiration to me. I love watching you draw literally anything. Thank you. I appreciate it. I do my best, methinks. I try to do my best. Again, breaking character, just very briefly. If the other clouds had won, I would have just done a sky. So anytime that there's like the quotations, we have a fun stream like this. I also think that it's most people pick them because it's intriguing. It's like, what the heck does that mean? just get rid of it. It's fine. Hello. I love how many people chose the clouds. Yeah, it's great. I mean, we're just learning how to draw clouds, right? Like, that's all we're doing today. So, yeah. Not too interesting, I guess, but it's been fun talking about the lore of clouds. Thought that clouds meant fantasy and whimsical clouds. No, we're just drawing real clouds. We're just drawing, like, actual clouds. Like, it's just, this is just what we see in the morning every day. In the morning, the afternoon, the night, whenever you decide to look outside and wave hello to the sky. Clouds be your friends? Well, I don't think they understand the concept of what a friend is, I'm gonna be honest. Are there any must-haves in a character sheet besides a turnaround, in your opinion? Personally, I really like seeing expressions on a character sheet. Like, I like having multiple just kind of, like, sketched out expressions on the side. I think that tends to look really nice. The clouds have different body types. I mean, they're ever-changing, so... What's your favorite type of cloud? I mentioned that earlier. My favorite type of cloud is a roll cloud. Lemon or corgi? Someone choose. Corgi! I love corgis. One of my favorite clouds is one that won't ever kill me, ever. Well, here's the thing, is that, again, clouds won't kill you if you just don't act aggressive towards them. They're very passive. They're very kind creatures. You just can't hit them. Thank you for the $9.99 donation, Sue. Appreciate it. Just glanced outside and saw a few clouds. Yeah, we've got a pretty cloudy day over here too. They're pretty. They're pink. See, I'm pretty much done here. I don't really have anything else to add. Do clouds enjoy sunsets? I think they would. Again, enjoy is a stretch of a word, because we don't know how much emotion they actually have, but... Clouds choose their colors or just happen? Well, that's just sun refracting. It's just, like, light refracting through them, so... Because again, like, as we understand them, clouds are just, like, water vapor. So it's not like they have RGBs in them or something. Somebody sounds sleep deprived. I got 7 hours of sleep, sir. But I'm always tired, so there's no, no difference. Do clouds have feelings? Again, kind of hard to distinguish. Well, if I finish early, I'm not ending stream early. We're just gonna sit here and chat. We'll add some extra fun little notes then. Opinions on lettuce. Big fan of lettuce. I do indeed love me a good lettuce. I have a cool voice, thank you. Romaine, I just like lettuce. Eat the leaves. Human for comparison. Yep, just height, just size difference. We'll say that this person is like 6 feet. If that's 6 feet, we gotta make him smaller. Very, very tiny. Here, that's better. It is the tiniest speck, but that's about right, though. What do clouds eat? They don't really need sustenance. I mean, they don't really eat. Which is interesting, because they scream all the time, so... Lettuce is better than spinach. Agreed, though I also really like spinach. If a human is that small, how do we catch baby clouds? You gotta grab them, like, right when they're, like, spawning. Which is why, usually, we let them go at around adolescence. If that, usually earlier. Like, a baby cloud is maybe, like, when it's first appearing, is maybe, like, that big. Like, that's when it's first starting to spawn in. And then it'll get bigger very, very quickly. Like, just why it's, like, it's illegal to have one. Like, who's gonna keep an adult? Who's gonna keep an adolescent? How do you keep that? You don't. Because you'll die. Gonna eat it though, you can again, but like it's a you need a casualty. You need to make sure that it's somebody you're okay with, like, removing the existence of. How do clouds move if they don't have legs? They just kind of float. They float around. Not a fan of salad? Sucks. I love salad. How high can clouds go? Well, they're kind of restricted to our atmosphere, so. Squishing question, but how do I overcome being overwhelmed about drawing? I started taking art seriously about half a month ago, and I feel like I'll suck no matter what. Honestly, it sounds like bad advice, but it really is the best advice I can give. Just do it. Right? If you sit there and worry, you're never gonna do it, right? So, like, even if you're like, oh man, I'm gonna suck, do it anyway. Don't do it for the idea of, hey, I'm gonna suck. Do it for the idea of, hey, I want to have fun. You're thinking about it in a way where you're setting yourself up for failure. So it's easier to draw with the mindset of, I honestly just kind of want to enjoy this. Even if you're taking it seriously. I'm a professional artist. I have been for a while. If you take it with the idea of, oh my god, I'm going to suck at this no matter what, you've already failed. Like, because you're setting yourself up to. If you instead go in with the mindset of, I want to have fun, I want to get better, I want to find more things that inspire me, you'll find it easier to be an artist. I don't understand why people don't say that clouds are the biggest animals. All the fame goes to that one whale. Well, because clouds aren't really animals, right? They're kind of just beings. You know? Similar to, like, gods. Like, we don't really understand the gods, but it's not like they're animals. They're just beings that we don't quite comprehend just yet. Sorry, just checking a couple of things. Can I play an instrument? I can play a couple. I can play the flute and I can play piano. But I haven't played either in a very long time. Can clouds be considered as deities? Some people think of them as deities. Personally, I just think of them as, like, living beings that just kind of exist. Like, it's similar to us. We're not deities. I guess technically we're animals, but, like, you know, it's not really like we're gods. We're just kind of here. It's the same thing with clouds. Flute gang. Clouds live in a higher plane of existence. Quite literally, too. They're very high in the sky. Clouds are above us in a very literal sense. Super true. Yeah, I don't really have anything else to add to this. I think we're good. We've got two pieces out of this. Not the worst. Again, if you wanted these as backgrounds, again, they'll be up as JPEGs on the Discord, ! Discord. You'll be able to take these and save them and keep them as your own, and they will fit on a desktop background. How big are the hands? Well, I mean, if that's a 6-foot tall person, you can imagine how astronomically large those hands are. You said you shouldn't use the wooden people for posing, but what about wooden hands? Same thing. Wooden hands are very, very stiff. I also have a wooden hand. I use it as, like, decoration. But yeah, I wouldn't recommend it. They're not the strongest thing. What does it mean when the clouds do that thing where they're over the whole sky? Oh, like where they're just kind of like conjoined and it's like about to... It looks like it's almost about to rain. It means that other clouds have entered the territory and they're starting to fight. But if like a storm doesn't happen, like if it doesn't start to rain, it doesn't start to like, you know, if it doesn't start to thunder or anything like that, they haven't actually fought. They're just kind of getting angry at each other as they pass by. Yeah, using your own hand is good though. Yeah, if you need like a reference for your hands, like using your own hands is a good idea. If I saw clouds reaching for me, I'd run so fast my shoes would come off. You can't escape cloud hands. Let's get real here. Alright, y'all. That is 6 o'clock. Thank you so much for joining. You don't know too much about the studio, don't know too much about us. We're not just a YouTube channel, we're also an art studio. Our classes, we have classes that we offer. Be sure to check them out, wingcanvas.com. Check out the classes that we offer. I'm one of the instructors. There's some other instructors there too that are lovely. Iggy and Vanessa, who stream on Sundays, are all... Oh no, actually Vanessa doesn't teach anymore, but Iggy does. And Josh, who you see sometimes now, also teaches. Both lovely instructors. So if you'd like to check out the classes that we offer, wingcanvas.com. This file that you see in front of you, all of them, the lesson, this thing, all of them, they will be available on the Discord, !Discord. You'll be able to find us on social media. Those will be available to download as JPEGs over there. But if you'd like my working files, this has a lot of layers in them, but if you'd like my working files, you're gonna have to join our Patreon. Patreon or become a YouTube member to find, you know, all of my working files. Thank you so much for joining me on this, for this bit, this 2-hour-long bit. What are we doing next week? Let's see. I always enjoy the quote-unquote streams. One where it's like blank or blank with quotes around it. I enjoy these. Next week, the streams, or actually, I don't know which one is next week, but tomorrow or Sunday, Iggy is gonna be drawing a scene in the sky, some sky concept art. So apparently, we're doing like a whole sky theme for the next couple days. So, join Iggy on Sunday, and I'm not certain what it is after that. So, yes, thank you all so much for joining, and I'll see y'all next week. Au revoir. Bye bye.